Hello, good evening, good morning. I did it all in reverse. This is Social Q. I'm your host, Gilly Moros. This is Noah Pagan. Noah, say hi to the people.
What's up?
Yep, that's what's going on. Before we get into everything, we have a couple of things to go over. Okay, Noah, do the bread thing.
So we don't have bread,
Also, we're in two different
but
locations.
we have like a type of bread, I guess. If you're loosely like qualifying what bread is, we have cookies. So
That's right. This is from the store.
my
I don't
aunt
remember.
made
I
this.
don't remember the brand.
My aunt made this. This is like dark chocolate chip cookies
See, I got
with salted caramel drizzle, and he just has regular chocolate chips, and they're
Not
Chips Ahoy,
true.
I would
No,
guess.
no, 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 no. I thought we were out of these, but this is Reese's
Take a
chocolate.
bite.
I am a terrible, terrible eater.
I eat like a true man. Ooh,
I eat like a true man. Ooh,
they're good cookies, man.
you look like a munchkin. That's what you look like.
Munchkins don't do that.
Whatever. Okay, before we get started on our episode today, I just start off. Noah, I have a surprise for you. You know the political compass test?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took after Ben Shapiro and decided to take it.
And your result was wet ass P word?
No, it wasn't wet ass P word. Okay. It was not as surprising as I was gonna think I was on the political spectrum. My result.
Yeah, that makes a lot. It makes sense.
I mean, I thought I'd be more like
I'm kind of surprised you're not more left though.
I thought I'd be like a little bit this way. No, hold on. No, I have some libertarian views, so I thought I'd be more lower on the authoritarian scale.
And that doesn't surprise me.
I thought I'd be lower on there. In terms of like, what's this way? Horizontal. The horizontal thing. I
The x-axis. Wait, yeah, the
yeah,
x-axis.
we're bad at math. Don't mention that. I mean, I'm right in the middle between like economic left versus economic right. I'm like, I guess a little bit more left than I thought I was. But in terms of authoritarian versus libertarian, yeah, I'm surprised I wasn't lower.
Yeah. Well,
Like more down. Well, now that we got that out of the way, Noah, that means you have to take the test. And next episode, we're gonna see your results. That's right. I'm calling you out.
watch out. I'm gonna be in the right and then top.
You're
It's
gonna
gonna be
be
your
like
plot twist.
way up there.
I'm basically Hitler. Sorry.
Actually, they put Hitler a little bit towards like in the middle in terms of right and left, but he's like on the top of this other thing.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
he's like right in the
surprising.
middle. And then you have Stalin, which is like way left and in the corner.
He always had an ing to his name. Stalling.
Stalin. Shut up. Okay. I don't say the G in most words. I gotta add them somewhere.
Gotta make up for it.
Well, I got a little bonus. I asked Carrie to do it too, so this is her results.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's weird though, because she identifies as like a Democrat, yet she's farther left than you.
Yeah, that's I was surprised too. I was like, whoa.
Dude, that's f***ing weird.
You just
She
want
should be
pure
talking on this.
anarchy.
You should be kicked off. I mean, you're still on the left. It's fine.
She should be apparently the host of this show isn't left enough.
That's really surprising, considering the fact that like she's like, "Well, I identify as a Democrat." I mean, did she say that? Was that what she said?
She likes being called a Democrat, yeah. I don't like being
She
called.
must view that term differently than
She does.
other people do.
She doesn't
Yeah.
take I think she doesn't take offense to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well,
Whereas
good job.
I do not like being called a Democrat.
I don't want to be called a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I don't really view myself as one.
Libertarians don't like being called a Republican.
Yeah.
You know. So speaking of the political parties, we're gonna go into our main topic today. Or whenever you this is why I say good evening, good morning, because I don't know when you're watching. So, do you want to talk about the DNC first or the RNC first?
I want to talk about the DNC first because the RNC is just fucking crazy already. So
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about the DNC.
there's a little bit more nuance to talk about on the DNC
Yeah,
side. I feel like.
I feel like they were more vague on their in their viewpoints.
I mean, they're both vague.
Well, no, not
So
like. But I feel like the RNC was more direct what they were trying to accomplish, whereas the DNC was trying to be like, we're not trying to stir up any trouble, other than the fact that we want him out. So, starting with everything that happened over the course of what was it, 4 days?
yeah.
What was your thought? How did you think?
Well, you watched the whole thing. I watched like clips, as many clips as I could find, because like, oh my god, there's so much.
All right, but what did you think when you watched them? I'm going to continue eating the cookie while you talk.
Well, I thought it was really just a lot of platitudes, and there are not very many like policy standpoints that they were talking about. They were talking the whole theme of like we're fighting for the soul of the nation. It's so corny. It's so stupid. Like, yeah, we get it. Trump bad, but it's like, what are you standing for? The speaker list was fucking god awful. They only had AOC on that represented the left. I saw a news thing talking about, oh yeah, a few progressives spoke too. Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Stacey Abrams. I think that's her name. It was the African American congresswoman with the short curly hair, and she wanted to. She tried really hard to be Biden's vice president. She got humiliated on national television about it too, because apparently they told her that she wasn't the pick on national TV. I forgot what it was. It's funny because she's kind of a suck up. But like they called her a progressive in this newscast thing. I think I was watching it on Snapchat. Not a progressive. Like she endorsed Bloomberg whenever he was running. So I was like, no. And also Bloomberg like was one of her donors in her campaign when she was running. I forgot what state she's from. Are you looking up Stacey Abrams? I'm looking up Stacey Abrams. Make sure I got that name right. Yeah, Stacey Abrams. Yeah, no, she's not progressive. But anyway, I thought it was really funny. We had Nancy Pelosi there. God awful. I don't know. I think I probably hated the most Bill Clinton speaking, acting like he was like a really good president. He was like, if you want a president that zaps people on Twitter, then Trump's your man. It's like, I don't like really. It's just all they're not even talking about policy. They're just talking like the whole convention was Trump bad, orange man bad type shit, and it's just like really annoying. It was more than annoying. It was really like infuriating because it's like, I don't know. It just really pissed me off. They didn't say anything of any substance. And it makes me kind of sad because I think Bernie's pretty naive to think that Biden is like a stepping stone for all this. Like, okay, I get it. You don't have much of a choice in which one's preferable, Biden or Trump. Yeah, Biden, I would say. But like, that's like a low bar. That's a very low bar. And his campaign did not put political pressure on Joe Biden to concede, make any policy concessions. He just dropped out and said he was endorsing him because he wanted to be like a team player sort of thing. You know, he didn't want to ruffle any feathers. And it's like, it's naive to me, the way he does politics.
Are you talking about Bernie?
Yeah, I'm talking about Bernie.
Oh,
so
okay.
that made me disappointed. It's not disappointed that I saw him, but seeing him reminded me of my disappointment. I also thought it was funny because everybody was like, whenever they were doing the vote counting, they're like, and my friend Bernie Sanders. Yeah, but it's like they're all trying to get popularity points from Bernie. He's my friend. He's my friend. My friend. That popular senator over there, he's my friend. He's like looking around like,
he's
what
like
was
that,
this?
Yeah, he's like that cool kid you want to be friends with, but you don't want him in charge.
You don't want him in charge, but he's my friend.
I know him.
Buttigieg said that whenever he was like, and another person said, and 4 votes go to my friend Bernie Sanders. I'm like, F off, man. F off.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Well, for me, I mean, like the entire convention was just. What is the point of this? Why is there like 4 days worth of speaking to be done?
To basically boost your base, get them really excited to go out and vote for you.
Yeah, but you really need 4 days worth of
Yeah, it helps.
fan
There's
television.
every candidates normally get a convention bump in their polling numbers.
Do they really?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
so it does affect things.
And do you know if like the Libertarians or the Green Party do these things too?
I think they all do it, but
Okay.
like they don't benefit as much, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Also, interestingly,
it's hard enough to watch these,
Also,
but like,
interestingly enough, a bunch of people who are progressives hosted a convention called the People's Party Convention, calling for the creation of a new like progressive party. So, what's his name? Cornel West. Can't remember. Marianne Williamson, who actually like turned out to be pretty progressive, and I can't remember. She was a surrogate for Bernie, and I can't remember her name. Let me look it up. People's Party Convention.
well, I mean, that sounds like a pretty good idea, creating like a more progressive party. But
They're
like,
the only ones talking about real shit, but it's like you can't hardly make a new party. So it's like it's very hard, you know?
yeah, you need a lot of people to
In
back
this
you up.
country at least. You can't really this country all the other parties are basically weakened.
Oh yeah, definitely. This country is set up to have only just a two-party system, and I mean, like a lot of other countries, like Australia and Japan, have like multiple parties, and like the only reason we don't is because like how our like voting structure is and how everything's set up. It's like the winner take all basically, and
Yeah.
like people with like a minority vote, you only get like a certain amount, and then like all those votes just don't mean anything.
Yeah. It was Nina Turner, by the way.
No.
Was there. She was awesome. 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 Anyway.
Well, so I was gonna say the structure is just set up the way it's supposed to, but it's got to change in a way that's like more fair towards minority voting.
Well, I mean, ranked choice voting should be, I think, in place. I think that would really help with
Well, I mean,
representation.
not
But
all.
also, like, I feel like a lot of the laws should be tweaked to make it more open for, like, make it more easy for, like, parties to be, to, for parties to, like, make actual, like, representation within the state or within the country as a whole. I, you can't really ask me, like, what specific laws, but I can't, but I definitely think, a lot of people that I've like heard on this issue say that the way our laws work in regards to political parties restricts it to where it's basically the two biggest parties.
Yep.
So the structure of the system makes it that way. So
Yep. All right, moving on to the RNC. uh,
well, they invited the people, the gun folks that pointed the guns at the Black Lives
yeah,
Matter
yeah.
protesters.
They invited the couple from St. Louis, Missouri. Uh, so this is why that would be relevant to us because we're in Missouri. They
Yeah,
invited.
they,
What were their names?
but I don't care, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I couldn't care. All I know is that they're a lawyer, and in the video they were sitting in a very extravagant living room, and they're like, they're here to take our stuff. And honestly, it was really funny because it's just like the whole thing was a giant dog whistle. Like the whole thing was just a giant racist dog whistle. Like because the whole message of they're gonna go into your suburbs. It's basically like they're gonna go into your homes, white people. Like who's most known for living in suburbs? White people. So who are you speaking to? It's like,
Yeah, and who's mostly watching the Republican convention?
oh, true, but I'm just saying the whole thing was like a total like blatant dog whistle, and like there's also a theme of like they're gonna have MS-13 being your neighbor, Like they're gonna make terrorists. Like what?
Who said that?
That woke-topians guy. Forgot his name. Kirk. I think it's Charlie Kirk. Was his name? I think that's the one who said it. I don't remember. The guy who said woke-topians. That's all I remember him from.
All right. Well, I mean,
Word.
I feel like most of the RNC was just talking about fear of the Democrats winning.
It's pretty reactionary. I mean, I think both sides were very reactionary, though. So,
Well, yeah,
and
obviously.
also, like, going back to the Democratic National Convention, like one thing that they said on there was, people who have pre-existing conditions can't be denied from their insurance, which is a big deal. Okay, cool. But like, you're not fixing the problem. You're not fixing the problem, which is health insurance itself. Like, that's not a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. I think it's a good policy. But what's better is Medicare for all. But nobody was talking about that. They're making this one small little change out to be something really big when it was nothing. When they did talk about policy, when most of the time they didn't talk about policy. It was mainly just Orange Man bad.
Well, yeah, and then you got the Republicans doing the exact same thing. Besides, like, just talking about how imagine living in a post Biden society. Everything would collapse and communism would reign and things like that. I don't know. Well, I mean, do they not understand what's going on right now? The parallels between that and what's going on in the United States during Trump's presidency. I'm not saying that Trump caused all this. Okay, I can't prove that.
Didn't help it though.
All right, but he is president and he has to take fault for this because he's in charge of it. He's in charge of the country right now. So, all this is going to fall under him. Much like how the Republicans blame a bunch of stuff on Obama during his presidency. It's just someone to blame. And
It's
you
not just the Republicans, because they
just keep doing that.
I mean, yeah, Obama did make a lot of terrible decisions too.
Well, yeah.
That's just a problem with the system as a whole. That's a problem with the way our political systems run.
I'm not saying they're perfect.
No, and honestly, most of our presidents sucked.
Have we done that yet? Have we?
We haven't done the Obama episode yet, but
No, we could. He was on
he's become the gatekeeper for the DNC or for the Democrats. So
for the Democrats.
Yeah,
we'll get to that someday. Maybe today. Maybe now. Can we talk about how a lot of the speakers, like the key speakers, were just Donald Trump's relatives?
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
Like
that was kind of funny,
all
actually.
his kids, his wife is. What do you?
Actually, didn't realize he had so many kids.
You got Ivanka, Junior, Eric, Tiffany,
And Junior had
Laura,
he
Laura.
was on some coke. He had some coke, like in his system.
Yeah.
Him and his wife. His wife definitely had something.
His wife was just out there, just oh my god.
No, she had something.
She was. She
That's
didn't have to. She was on something.
He was on something.
God, man.
Which, I mean, fine. That's totally cool if you are. Like, I believe like that stuff should be legalized. But like,
but like the intensity that she brought with her, it's just But Donald Trump Jr., you could tell he did that before. Like,
yeah, he was like controlled.
He was like, man, this ain't nothing. I just needed the extra boost.
And then he had like that.
It's like you drinking one cup of coffee. It's like, all right, I got it in my system, but it's not going to.
Yeah, I can fall asleep with 1 cup of coffee.
Yeah,
in fact, I just drank a whole glass of coffee right now, and I'm gonna go to sleep after this.
This lightweight, bro. That's what he was this whole time. And he's like, man, I got this speech done. I'm gonna go my wife later. She's really intense right now too.
That was the first time, for sure.
So much energy.
She was like yelling at the mic too. Like, why are you yelling at the mic?
Yeah.
Why?
They're feeling like MGK energy.
Why are you yelling at the mic? weird beard.
Beard's weird. I got a weird beard.
I think Trump looks better. Trump Jr. looks better with a beard. Even though I don't like him as a human being, I think it looks better with a beard.
I wonder if Donald Trump can grow a beard.
I don't know.
I'd feel like he'd rock it.
I
Depending
don't
on
like.
like
I
if
don't
it
like saying he'd rock anything, but like, yeah, it probably would look better on his face because his face looks fucking terrible.
yeah, it just looks like
He's got the weakest chin. I mean, that
yeah.
coming from another weak chin, but
It takes one to know one.
I feel like he has a weaker chin than me, though. So, you know,
Can we talk about how he's like a 6'5", half of a centaur?
the way he stands.
It's the way he stands. We got into this because of the DNC and RNC, but like, I want to talk about Trump the man, not Trump the politician. Okay. Just the why is he standing like that? Is someone pushing him slightly forward?
It's the ghost of his father trying to slowly break his back.
It's like, come on, man, just cave in already.
His family is that hateful. I'm not gonna down his son though. His son Barron is actually feel bad for him. I've heard a lot of stories where he actually like was on Roblox and stuff like that. He was talking about Black Lives Matter. He supports them and he supports the LGBT community. But then his dad apparently blocked him from using the internet.
That sounds very authoritative. Like you're blocking your son from free speech.
And there's a lot of really cool videos of him like talking to like he was in like his dad was like in a press conference or something like that, and he was sitting in the crowd and there's like a baby right beside him and he's like playing with the babies going like this.
Oh,
I'm like, wow, he seems like a really good guy actually.
yeah. I hope he doesn't turn out like he's great.
Like I hope he doesn't turn out like like Donald Trump Jr. and all them either. I don't know. I think he'll be fine. I think he's pretty cool.
How old is he? How old is Barron?
He's in I don't know. I think he's in high school now.
So he's like around 14.
Yeah, but he's like, if he is in high school, he's like a freshman.
That's like that's a 60-year difference between him and his father.
That's really weird, isn't it? No, his father's actually really distant, I heard, with him. He doesn't even hardly see him. I mean, we could expect that already. So it's like, he just does not seem like a good father.
He checked out like a long time ago. He was just like,
yeah,
he was just having kids because like his worked somehow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his sons were all raised by their mothers or they were like raised probably by like, I don't know, people who are working around. I don't know. You know how that stuff is.
Yeah. 60 years to have your last child? Goodness, man.
You have to wonder whether or not that was like, anyway, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
but
sure
like,
they did, but
that'd be if like my grandpa had me. Like if my grandpa was my dad, because my grandpa's 80.
Yeah, it's weird. Weird to think about.
Yeah, that's something else, man. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. I wanted to talk about this. What was it? The Liberation newspaper.
Party for Socialism and Liberation.
Right, I couldn't remember the name of it. I only wrote down Liberation newspaper. I'm terrible at this.
I think it's PSL, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like a farther left party than I would say DSA even.
But man, I read the article on the protest and the Black Lives Matter movement, and they did not hold back on calling out the police about anything. Like that article was supposed to be about one protest, and they brought up pretty much everything in the bag about police brutality over the years. And I was like, man, this is just one article? Man.
Yeah.
It's just, what happens when there's when like, something else happens in town. Like there's a gay pride parade. They got to bring up like the 2015 case. They got to bring out like, all the other stuff that's going on in the past.
They got the receipts.
They got the receipts.
I need to read those articles. I
Man, they
actually
got
not read those.
you gotta
Shout
read
out,
those
we
articles
gotta
because they're
shout out
pretty
Hannah.
long.
I don't know if they'll see this, but we should shout out Hannah for giving us those.
Yeah, our newest member of hopefully YDSA.
Yeah,
I don't remember their
actually,
last.
we need to promote that on campus. That's a side note. We'll talk about that later. But
It's all good. We're all good.
um, yeah, no, they're pretty cool. I think that that energy, like, I wish we had that energy more in mainstream politics, but it's like, nah, it's not.
I don't have that
It's
energy.
way more. I feel like nowadays it is way more, but like, what is it called? The Democratic National Convention. Like, it's weird because it's like they were like, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter and all this and that. It's like, but you're not even saying anything about policy. You're just saying Black Lives Matter. Like, cool. It doesn't take very much energy to say that at all. And then also you have Republicans on there, and you also have you had like John Kasich talk for a straight like 4 minutes. He talked for 4 minutes. He had a 4 minute speech.
Wasn't he? Wasn't he between like? Wasn't he on literally on the
And
road?
Bloomberg talked. He had a speech. He was the whole shtick with the road thing. I guess you skipped over this part because you didn't care to watch that. I don't care to watch him either. He was he
I was
was
wondering. I was wondering why he was on the DNC. I was like, am I watching the right one?
he's like, our country is standing on a crossroads.
He
He was
tried to make the
literally at a cross.
metaphor literal. That's
Yeah,
the dumbest. Oh my god.
it's stupid.
That's grandpa humor.
It wasn't humor. More of
That's
it's like, we're standing on a crossroads, and this is the literal. I don't know.
that is grandpa humor.
Shit makes me pissed. You hate to see it.
You just hate to see it. You just and it's there, but
I mean, it's like we don't even like have an attachment to the Democrats. We just have it for convenience. For the ones that actually, well, most don't do anything. But for like that's our closest ally, even though they are probably way more on the right in general in this country. So it's like you hate to see that, the people who vote for that party are way more on the left, and they want something that we want.
I think it's because the Democratic Party is more accepting.
No, it's not because they're more accepting. It's because they want money.
Well,
Because
yeah, they're more accepting
for
of
the
money.
yeah, they're more accepting of like corporations and shit. But
Like
like,
the Republicans want money too, but they're just like, they for some reason think they still got their integrity intact while still taking
all
corporations.
these fucking corporate donors, yeah.
Yeah, so like, one's just blinded to the fact that they are, the other one's just, also blinded, but like at the same time they're pretending to be something they're not.
Yeah,
And you can't even tell which one I'm talking about.
yeah. The Democrats are more like, oh yes, we're gonna have this CEO who is a woman and black speak at our convention, but she's also a billionaire, so she's not really close to any, like, she doesn't empathize with you at all. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, representation, but they're also rich. Like, it doesn't matter, like, if you're representing, like, representation matters, but like also if the person you're representing to speak is like, I guess this is kind of a hypothetical, but this is the way that like the mainstream corporate Democrats view representation, right? Like, ooh, empowered like woman CEO. Okay, cool. Like, that's not change. That's just, you're just showing someone who happened to become a CEO, and they happen to be a woman, but they're also playing into a system that really hurts a lot of people. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's their idea of change, is like, let's make more women CEOs. Like, that's not change. You're just making it the same system. Like, we should change much how rich they get. Like, we should change how much that money is spread around, and
Yeah.
how much is put into the system. Like, it's okay to have rich people, but they should pay their fair share. We don't
Right.
talk about that.
I think the DNC is just branding.
No, and every single all it was branding anyway.
I think the Democratic Party is just trying to brand themselves differently, you know, because the times have changed. People are feeling a different way about these policies that were enacted probably like a decade before all these people like became of age. So
It's the thing is that like the fundamental problem is that they both hold up the idea. They're both try to hold up the idea of like becoming a rich person as like the ideal in society, and like that ideal
well,
is not realistic. What the real goal should be is forming a society that protects everyone and ensures the most amount of happiness.
everyone has an equal opportunity to be happy and to be secure in their society, not to build wealth.
Because you can't have everyone be rich.
Yeah,
That's
because
the realistic thing, and that's the reason why I would identify with being like a socialist or something, someone who's more on the left, because you can't like advocate for like everyone being like rich. Like that's impossible. You can't like I know that maybe it sounds like I'm straw manning people, but like the whole American dream thing that people talk about on both with Republicans and Democrats. It's to even ask, whoa, is there an American dream? No, that's a whole myth. It's a myth. The American dream of like becoming like well off, that doesn't exist. Security and being happy and being like knowing that your system that you live in is protecting you is like what people should be striving for.
yeah, because the American dream was propaganda from the start. It was something that like fueled the working class into like trying to strive for something they could never achieve, but yet it was close enough to a dream where they could believe that they could, and it's something that like a lot of people still think today is a possibility.
But I don't know, that's the thing that irks me about makes me upset about both parties. That they although there's a lot of people who are nowadays running as Democrats and are actually progressive, the vast majority of them are the corporate bought, Democrats. And they buy in they don't buy into it, but like in their rhetoric, they play into this because they know that sort of rhetoric actually helps. Like it's more beneficial for their like donors, and it's like you're not gonna like highlight what the real problems are. You're not gonna highlight that. You're just gonna talk about things, uh, vague values that a lot of people would identify with.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So this seems to be the end of the episode.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait, wait. We should give a shout out to the.
Yeah, we're gonna do that in a second. But like, yay, end of episode 3, guys. I did make a promise to Noah. I did say we should do something for the podcast if we did go to the 3rd episode. So I think around next week, give me time, Noah. I will be making an Instagram for Social Q. So I will be creating an Instagram and posting some pictures, and hopefully things get to rolling to where we just feel like we just do this on a weekly basis and just crank them out and post on our Instagram a lot more often than I do mine. I don't post anything on my Instagram. There's like a 6-month wait between posts on my Instagram. So no, you want to do some shout outs?
Oh, I just want to shout out to the fact that like Markey won against Kennedy, which was cool. Ed Markey did the architect of the Green New Deal,
Right,
which
right.
he's not a lifelong
So,
progressive like Bernie, which I
so
will admit,
did
but
he
like
make the Green New Deal? Like he
yeah, he's the one who like put it up.
wrote it?
I don't know if like he probably had help, but like yeah, he's the one who backed it originally and like put it up.
Oh, okay. Who else?
That was the only person because two other people who were progressives lost their races, so that was sad.
Ah,
Yeah, Alex Moore Morris, I think, and they had like a homophobic smear campaign against him, which was really shitty. And then they were apologizing for it, but yet the guy the other candidate, who was basically the one backing that smear campaign, won. And yeah, then there was another progressive that lost, but I forgot their name. But the Markey win was cool because it's weird because Joe Kennedy coming into the race was almost like had an incumbent sort of effect. Kyle from Secular Talk sort of said this because he was a Kennedy, like he was like 10 points ahead of Markey.
Mm-hmm.
So like Markey kind of had to like do he kind of had an underdog thing going for him, even though he was the incumbent. And I think that kind of helped him. Also, like the fact that Nancy Pelosi backed Joe Kennedy kind of, I think, had a little bit to do with him losing.
I think it had a lot to do with it. I think that's the reason he lost because of Nancy Pelosi.
So you think that if that happened, we would be not doing the shout out right now? You think it would be that much of an effect?
We would be talking about a whole different subject if Nancy Pelosi hadn't opened her big mouth and decided to back him up. So you could say your thank yous to Nancy. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
I hope you lose in November.
Miss rips paper.
Rips the paper. Rips her nomination.
And then backs military funding.
Okay. All right. Well, that has been our show. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Me at Gilly Morals. Noah at Noah Pagan 12. Noah, yet do you find the words?
I'm waiting for you to say the capital N and capital P.
Yes, the capital N, capital P. All right, social cue out.